We're diving straight into Ancient. I got a little ring in my ear saying the game was starting, so we got to move. It will be 9Z on the CT side.
Looks like they're getting a move as well, because it's the Mad Kings looking to execute straight into B, but the executioner is Mr. Max. Mad Kings meet Mad Max, and he is road raging all over them. What a way to start things off. Not a single player loss, and it might be all 5 alive, as Coat is the last remaining, and he at least will get a snappy shot, if nothing else.
Just about the only player that was damaged takes that peek and gets that info. So Max, great hold. The 3 kills with the dualies. We've certainly seen some recent successes with these pistols. No, good friend, a mutual of ours in Maui Snake called Zowie
Indeed.
the best of the dualies.
I thought you were about to say he calls Zawu the French try, which is what.
Yes, you know? I'm sure many Argentinians would wish for that too.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing what NQZ actually brings to the table. Obviously, very hype player coming out of the region.
Gone to his first team. He was competing in tournaments when he was 15. He is 17 now, and it's not like 9Z are shy from picking up young players and having them be dominant stars. You know, that was the model for Try.
Well, David is wanting to go for the Wild Wild West out here. Some quick trauma skills and keeps facing on, but really it's NQZ and Digit who can come through and finish things off. And look, if there's one thing that I'm always excited about, it's the possibility of new, like, super top-level players from the South American region. Because I think, look, Try was really good, and I don't want to take anything away from him, but it really feels like that after Quesarado and Yuri, we haven't seen anyone come through and truly contest being, like, a proper top 20 level player in the rest of the world. And part of that is because of what's going on with, like, you know, so much of it being online, so obviously the experience cap is going to be slightly more, etc.
There's a region lock effectively as well.
Yeah, exactly. But, you know, I'm looking forward to seeing the next guy to come out of the region as well. You know, it's going to be fun stuff.
We're in the right era for it. Academy teams are all the rage. All these young players are getting a lot more opportunities than ever before.
100%.
And you got all the practice tools.
17.
Well, full gun round here for the Mad Kings. They are going up against, I think, Idols. Fair to say, 9Z, first squad with an Argentinian core, first Uruguayan, first Chilean representatives that ever made the major. So a lot of confidence from this 9Z squad, the fact that they have accomplished enough. They are icons in their own right. What if you get nervous if you're the Mad Kings?
The smoke on the B bomb site's going to fade pretty soon, and that's where Buddha is going to be slightly exposed. You have to be worried, and he has... Oh my god, the timing! Just pushing through, Knight's been destroyed. He will, however, respawn. Baby Rage right there with him. Somehow they still come out on top. Max will now start to get a move on this. MP9's got to get busy, but all it gets is one. Buddha... still playing from back at default, will peek out, gets one, almost a second as well. Everyone is so low. David, if there's ever a clutch you've got to go for, this is it, but I don't know how much of the damage is actually confirmed beyond Knights.
Hard clutch to go for. Does have the kit, and, you know, David, certainly one of the stars, can be a massive difference maker, but a very hard sell to go for a round like this. Trying to go for exits, trying to capitalize on the extra damage done. I think there was some communicated over. That was the healthiest player, so they should try and exit CT, but even that's not a guarantee. David might get every single one of these kills. Yeah.
Yep. Good money as well. 900 to take home isn't something to scoff at. It gives them enough to be able to drop down an M4 and buy some extra utility behind that. Oof, AK picked up as well. Yes, please. And a smoke with it.
Yeah, super interesting to have David play this long game as well, because, I mean, you look at how the Mad Kings are going to have to buy into this round. It's going to be Galil's, a lot of extra utility, and the Mac 10s. I didn't see that before I said it. It's just how the money breaks down after a plant. You lose every single one of these players, so 9Z will surely read into that themselves and try and get aggressive with it. They're actually just running through
no.
the ramp Molotovs. This is dangerous. The SMG does so much, and Digit will be there to sweep things up. Max as well, coordinating, breaking past the smokes. That's at least a good kill from Zocchi, but bomb plant dropped in the middle of nowhere. Knight all that stands between them and a round loss, and a third will be found here for 9Z. That is never an ideal circumstance to go through, because they only extinguish the topside Molotov. The first one is what chews them up.
I really appreciate the utility actually being prioritized there for 9Z as well when they're in a bad monetary position. The idea that you're going to go for such a risky double Molotov early is great. They're reading into the low economy of Mad Kings as well. So, you know, the risk of Mac 10s is always going to be there, but it's a ballsy play to go for that much utility being used early on in that situation, in the same spot, no less.
A lot of info. Saw multiple players jump into the cave, so Max should know what's coming his way. They're just trying to box them in.
Well, Max should be able to get the free double, although Digit will die for it. That's just one down, and they're more than happy with keeping 4 alive. 9Z will continue on this stretch of good CT side performances.
Certainly one of the questions I think people will have coming into this 9Z roster, if they haven't really been paying attention and they've only really seen them in international competitions, is what happened? You know, they looked good at the major, they got a lot of representation, then they make roster moves immediately afterwards. You know, Lucan's gone, the more recent one is Rox. You know, we only found out that Buddha was coming in for him today, in fact, you know, maybe an hour before or a couple hours before they played. Lucan hadn't played for a year. You know, I think it was a very honeymoon run. They certainly had some great chemistry. Rox was a prospect, one of these younger players that was brought in and looked to be another star from the region, but had trouble replicating that on international stages. Even sometimes locally would sometimes struggle. The limelight was taken by even players like Max, even players like Digit, who I think were less talked about and have now got that extra experience themselves. So they're taking chances. They've got a nice wealth of experience themselves, as they have become a bigger organization since then.
Did Buddha play the RMR qualifiers with them?
I do not believe so.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, he didn't.
It was a very recent.
Yes. Well, slightly confused for other reasons, but we'll talk about them later on because Buddha is about to be put to the test. He is having some backup being flown right in, but it'll still be late to the party. Buddha has to come through with a couple, and sharp on the aim. He gets himself the double. Baby Rage pushes through an inevitable trade, which finally comes in, but it's bought time for the smokes to start to dissipate. David and company will be looking to push in, and David's got the freebie. Slayer, though, quick on the trade. Second and third player right around the corner, and as they push forward, he's got the quick flick. Digit all alone, almost locating Code as well, but it'll be the one-on-one that Mad Kings can take away.
Yeah, great entries into this bomb site, and in spite of the fact that Buddha gets these 2 kills on the cave progress, just lost too much HP, and that shot from Slayer is fantastic. He's their AWPer, by the way. Hitting 180 flicks may be his forte, but didn't have to scope for that one. Didn't seem like a round that was too replicatable, I think is the bigger issue here for the Mad Kings, even in spite of the fact that they had the advantage, you know, had this 2 split that they could attack from both sides. Still went 1 by 1. Oh! Come on.
God, Knight is so good there. That's the second time we've seen such a crispy headshot straight down mid. Coat will find another, and the meanwhile, Buddha is gone.
Buddha's always with you.
Sometimes a bit more spiritually than literally.
Got some great names in the server.
Knight's a great one, actually.
Yeah, Knight, Baby Rage, Buddha.
Slayer hurts as well. Not bad. Digit will put the hurts into Slayer, and David will, you know, take Knight off the round table. I don't know, man. Bit of a stretch, but hey. Max is looking to maybe shove some tables under their head, though. Will be able to get the quick one, the Molotov to find him. Nonetheless, it is the flame of Baby Rays that's always deadly. And a 1-on-2 with very little HP and a very unsuccessful.
Don't think that's quite how you ride the horse, Zoki. He started out so well as well. That's a 3-on-5 spun around. Mad Kings got themselves into opening advantages. That's clawed right back after the double from David and Digit. So how clustered they were, how flustered, in fact, they were in terms of breaking into that B bomb site. The Molotov was great, but they didn't wait for it to actually do its job. Mad Kings were trying to be pacey, and it worked against them. 5-2 start here for 9Z. Fast boost onto the ledge as well, trying to get the elevated angle in mid. They've been losing this mid fight, and so the double peek will be great. Timing is good, though, for Baby Rage, but didn't have the weapon for it.
I feel like you probably don't want to use that run boost up against a worse buyer. But interestingly enough, Michael, Knight is actually also the name of a League of Legends player who is a mid player and is known as one of the most dominant people in mid in the world. So, you know, Knight is doing the same thing over here. He's dominating mid.
Wow, yeah.
Now, even more
comparison.
interesting is the fact that although Knight is considered like maybe even the number 1 or number 2 player, you know, top 3 definitely at the world at any point, he never makes it to international tournaments. So,
what's so like eye test wise, he's great, but can
like,
actually.
It's just not even eye test wise. He's just like really insane, but it's because he's so expensive. He generally ends up on a bad team by comparison.
I see.
So it's a very League of Legends thing. Their circuit is kind of weird.
Yeah, I mean, you could have told me just about anything, and I would have said, "Oh yes, that's very interesting," because I don't know squat about what you're talking about.
They've got 2 international tournaments a year, man. Like
I've got one game that I love, and we're watching it. I mean, not right now. Technically, we're looking at we're looking at a screen, but
I do quite love the Mad Kings logo as well. So you know what, I'm down with it. But I just checked, and 9Z did actually play with Rocks in the RMR. However, because of the ability to add a sub later on, I do believe, or maybe they already had Buddha registered, they will be able to play with Buddha at the RMR itself, which I was just surprised because Liquipedia already had him listed as their 5th player over there. So maybe this has been something that's been slightly more known for a while on the inner level of things.
Yeah, I mean, there's been a few rosters that have made decisions like that, and, you know, I have to say, organizationally, kind of sucks for the players, but that is... one of the things about your contract is they can't just pull you whenever, so... Back into the action. Oh, smoke faded, and good phase in terms of Zoki's performance. We were not caught in a pause all that time. In fact, the round had played out. Didn't realize that it was a Zoki 1-on-5 that we somehow found ourselves into. But it was a flash forward, not a flash back. But now we get the flashbacks. So how the origin story of how that 1-on-5 could have been.
Wow. Oh my god, that's actually...
sick round from NQZ.
That's a sick round. Sorry, NQZ, sucks to be you.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing as well. You know, he's been in mid so many rounds. The fact that he's somehow made the call of they've made this read that mid wasn't going to be the focus for the Mad Kings in that round is actually a very good call from 9Z, considering how A-focused that was. Like, look how vacant they are on A. They're just playing from Donut. They're focusing on mid control, and Max just keeps on pushing the issue.
Buddha will deliver enlightenment out, one headshot at a time. All 5 players kept alive. That's very important for 9Z at this stage, considering how scrappy some of these rounds have actually ended up being. Now their economy is looking quite good.
I feel like this game was always going to be a little lopsided. Kind of try to highlight that. We got into the game quite quickly, but, you know, talking about the grandeur 9Z have accomplished with this core. I think there is going to be some nerves at stake. You know, it's hard to always determine and hard to always put into words just how much that experience gap can matter to players, especially when it's so recent. It might be the Mad Kings, the 9Z are the Kings of Argentina, and Max is showing exactly why. Big brain stuff, but the spray is flubbed. Tried to transfer and keep continuing into more, but that's what costs him.
Oh,
And good.
I have to say, Buddha's been looking really good on this B-bomb site. You could argue that maybe it's not the firmest of opponents because obviously 9Z are major favorites versus Mad Kings regardless, but Mad Kings have got some fraggers. Exhibit A?
Yeah, I think that's proves the point. See some great opening kills from players like Knight, people like Baby Rage just there, but they're not always in tandem. We're getting a few blips on the radar, and that's about it. Yeah, that zoom is so... I don't know. It's giving me vertigo or something. It's doing something to my head.
It's ancient. I know they're both bad maps, but it's ancient.
Oh, it was the zoom. I like ancient.
You also like Vertigo, don't you?
Yep.
Yeah. Great nades and Mad Kings are going to be slowed down as they go over to Cheetah. Oh, the irony, but they're about to be faced down by Max once again. Just a quick side swipe, peek in, quick dip out for Knight. And David's taking this chance to press W and shift together and clear the angles. David gets another freebie and Max is getting ready to take the peek forward. Slayer's gone, the trade's there, but rotations are as well, and these players are going to be feeling mighty claustrophobic as the fingers close down around their necks and they are choked right out. Very little HP as well. Baby Rage good for the one at the very least, but Baby Rage is gone and Zoki is likely going to be joining him soon. They have a 10-2.
Nice that they can get a plant down, but they do really want to just convert rounds. They had some nice performances in the post plant. You know, they obviously have put up some fight here and there, but it's just been too far apart to really threaten things too heavily here for 9Z. I think the rest of the half is pretty secured monetarily for the defensive end, so the Mad Kings have to really come in swinging. I don't know what kind of mercenaries they'll hire to take advantages, but 9Z have been fairly ruthless. I mean, with how aggressive Max has been getting, with how aggressive they're holding the mid control as well. Really making Mad Kings work for it.
Oh, that's just not very nice.
Only saw one player cross, by the way, but knew immediately what it meant.
Knight continues to come through and dominate middle.
Too many times we've seen just a solitary A push. So I wonder if Knight might actually be given the goods on this side of the map. And they're not getting flanked as well. That's another security. The bomb's making its way over. Knight might have to be called into action before the rest of the squad can sort of link up with them. But they've got utility, so they can at least separate things and allow things to be a bit easier here on the entry. David doesn't have a Molotov. Nothing really that can delay.
He knows this util's coming over his way, so the flashbang at least should be good to take the peek in. David is going to come through with a quick one, trying to jiggle around the single box, but Knight instead will respond and keep him down. Bomb should be planted overhead. Digit. Oh, the spam is good, but it's not enough to take down the planter. Instead, it'll be the grenade that comes through from NQZ, and an op shot to boot in the meanwhile. He's not had many chances for action, but now Knight is the one called to the task. And also now removed from the task.
Yeah, I mean, that doesn't go well there for the Mad Kings. They throw these two smokes over the A-bomb site, but only one of them makes it. One of them bounced right in front of their face, in fact, outside of A main. So they had to still be worried about CT. They couldn't get themselves big box control, you know, cross safely into the temples angle until they secured the plant properly. And then they could deploy re-smokes. Not to mention all that damage you were talking about on the spam certainly didn't help, but when certain things that you execute are missing, it just disrupts the whole flow of the round.
If that nade had gone through, could have been a lot of damage.
They're all stacked up.
They're about to go single file into Buddha's life. The only question... Oh no, the flash collides on Knight, and with that, all the information's given away. Buddha wants to take the swing so bad, and with a flashbang trying to avoid, he will end up falling. The stack works, but only so long till David can make his way over. 3 kills, mows them down. And you're right back to a 2-on-1. Zoki's had a difficult game so far, 3-13, but he's got a real chance to give his team a little bit more to work with.
They've got full belts on 9Z.
And with him pushing into CT, there should be no chances of a hair. As soon as they clear out the bomb sites, deep Molotovs are all they really need. Right side for the bomb can also be cleared through, and Zoki is so far off. There is a smoke as well, and that's been used on top of their own Molotov, interestingly enough. And now they don't have one, but they've got the time. Do they actually? NQZ moves in, Molotov right at the very edge of it. NQZ times it perfectly, and that's exactly what enables that round win.
Yeah, I had a couple more seconds, but I mean, you could see how nervous they were getting about it. NQZ was ready to give his life, but was hoping that he calculated correctly, and he beat Furia.
Maus, outside his OG. They outplaced a lot of really good teams, I won't lie. I think Rubik Cup was quite impressive from them, but now they have to try and make it to the Blast Premier Showdown and impress us over there instead. It is 12-2. Can they finish on 13?
I appreciate everyone that stuck with us and attended our podcast. Mad Kings, though, they want more out of this T side. There's not a lot more to give, but any extra wiggle room they can get when it comes to moving into that defensive half that certainly sees a lot of favor would be nice. Oh. Well.
Indeed, I see a lot of favor. It is very nice.
We got a little concerned. We go from a screen to no screen, but no action miss. That's the most important bit.
Night vision goggles on.
Yeah, it's like those transitions you see in video games when you are entering a new area. You use your thermal goggles.
Buddha. Not too aggressive forward, and that's what they were trying to flash out for and try to test the waters. You will get a lot of information about how many players are here, though, by the fact that David has found absolutely nothing down in middle, and NQZ is playing highly aggressive in A, so they're feeling comfortable keeping this many players over here. Practically 3.5 players ready for the T-side hit to potentially come through, and a great timing on the smoke. Knight moves in, knows where Max is playing in from, clears out the angle beautifully. Digit in the meanwhile trying to avoid damage, but he will have his position revealed in the end. More spam coming his way, and Baby Rage has found David. Buddha quickly comes in with just the one, but he's traded out soon after Zoki's flashbang forward, and maybe they think that Buddha's the player who's in the corner, and Digit goes by uncleared, and Digit gets 2 massive frags as a result of that very phenomena. He even keeps himself alive afterwards, so it's still a 2-on-2, but he's getting so damn low. Bomb dropped in their favor, and with 10 seconds left, it doesn't seem like there's any chances for Mad Kings here. Digit delivers.
What a monster. I can't believe he's been able to survive that. He did so well to get himself into a position where he could find those couple of kills. His timing was perfect. 9Z, you can see that the team coordination in this core and just the reliability that they have in their newer additions is all there. Yeah, 13-2 half. That sucks.
And I mean, I'm just really impressed with the fact that Buddha even goes and takes a duel and he doesn't actually move away from it. I would like to believe that that's just communication. They recognize that the only way Digit has any effect is if they think that he's not the one who actually got spammed up. Also an angle that Buddha was playing from consistently before as well.
Yeah, exactly. So would have felt a little safer that angle wasn't occupied. But there was a squatter in the house.
The server. None at all. Not from match. Ancient might be CT sided, but I don't think it's quite so much.
Maybe not 13-2 sided.
I think anything is 13-2 sided since about 6 years now. Smokes and Execute is the name of the game. Zoki gets his first coming through, but the trades are going to be great. NQZ can sidestep out from the back of the bomb site, and now he's straight into Cheetah with a flash to help out. Coat is gone. And so the numbers advantage from Mad Kings. A 3-on-4 retake attempt is the only real option they have to try and bring this game back into it. If this pistol falls down by the wayside, their round might just end up being their game loss. Buddha fragging away, tagging away, great headshots all over the place. He's just keeping them low as can be. And a 14 secured 9Z are looking to make this a quick one.
You could see this round was a little awkward, even with the flash that they had into Cave. NQZ took a while to realize what was going on, but yeah, great job from Buddha. I mean, you look at the ADR, he only got maybe a couple of those kills, but it was probably somewhere in sort of like the 300-odd region. Great effort, keeping the pressure applied, and you know, I don't think they're kings of much here in our opening game. They're certainly mad. I would be upset with how things have gone. So many big rounds, so many big swinging moments, and now just getting spammed through smokes. Things are going wrong.
Oh. Huh?
Bag and bag.
Didn't look like Cope was quite ready for that one, but oh, the grenade is nicely placed. David responds, Max comes through with another in the meanwhile, and everything has fallen apart despite some good kills to find. Won't be enough.
Little chance. I mean, Max is low. David was chancing his efforts as well in taking a deep CT peek, and Slayer has run off. David's on the hunt. I mean, he's trying to keep him so preoccupied. Steam was planning on the B bumps. I would have left Max in a 1v1, but David just so confident.
I think David's done with this game.
Yeah, I think he is. He heard they were kings. He was ready to scrap, and this has been anything but kingly. Actually, to be fair, I think most actual monarchs weren't that great at combat.
Hey, I mean, King Arthur? You know?
Yeah, so the legends would say.
So the legends would say, but NQZ has eliminated Slayer before he can have any sort of mythology about him spread across the world. Knight, oh my god, he is really good on middle, I have to say that.
Yeah, I think the one soldier that's been very consistent has been the Knight. And how outfitting. 3-on-3, just picked off though, Digit finding an advantage. Still another player on B, but flubbing the line. Zaki cannot finish his meal. It's Knight to see if he can clutch things back, get a seat at the round table.
This would be a massive feat to be able to pull off if he can find it just for confidence, nothing else. The game is really looking to have stretched thin for Mad Kings, and a round or two would just be nicer to talk about later on. Knight will find the first one, turns around for the attempt, but Digit is just too damn good. He is too damn good. 9Z fully whitewash out their opponents.
Yeah, I think this is about what we expected coming into this game. You know, we can romanticize, you know, kind of talking about the fact that these